On the day Ethan's white moonlight was kidnapped, he pushed me out, saying, "My wife has been practicing dance since she was young, you'll surely like her." I looked at the dead knot on my wrist and smiled bitterly in silence. He was convinced that I had replaced the white moonlight who saved his life and married him, so he hated me to the bone. Half a year ago, when the white moonlight suffered from depression, he locked me in a dog cage full of dogs and heat, just to make her smile. 3 months ago, when the white moonlight developed anorexia, I was thrown into a filthy pigsty and forced to eat pig feed with the pigs for half a month. If I resisted, he would threaten me with my sister, demanding that I obediently comply and atone to him and the white moonlight. If it weren't for you taking advantage of my drunkenness to climb into my bed and get photographed by the media, how could I have been forced to marry you? Vanessa has suffered so much because of you, this is what you deserve. You'd better obey, or I won't guarantee your sister stays alive." Before he could finish, I limped forward on my own initiative toward the kidnappers. Ethan was stunned for a second, frowning, unsure what he was thinking, but finally hesitated and said, "My wife is willing to exchange herself for Miss Vanessa. In 3 days, after I deliver the ransom, she can come home with me." "Release Miss Vanessa." The kidnappers revealed greedy gazes as they eyed me up and down, releasing Vanessa without a second thought. Ethan immediately embraced Vanessa, comforting her repeatedly. However, he didn't notice that I was being roughly dragged in another direction by the kidnappers. I struggled desperately and cried for help. Ethan heard the commotion and was about to turn his head when Vanessa fell. "Brother Ethan, I'm so scared, hurry and take me away from here." Ethan didn't look back, picked up Vanessa, and hurriedly left. Seeing the kidnappers reveal ferocious faces one by one, I quickly knelt and begged them, "Please let me go, I have money, I'll give you money." The kidnappers laughed heartily, "By kidnapping you, someone will pay, and we'll get the ransom too. Why would we forego double the money for your paltry sum?" The kidnappers knocked my card to the ground and pounced on me like hungry wolves. "What if it's my money?" Just as I was at a loss, a domineering and steady voice appeared in my ear. I looked up following the voice, shocked and sighed. The person before me was Ethan's archenemy, the richest man in Haicheng, Vincent. I had heard from Ethan that this man operated in both legal and illegal spheres, with methods even more ruthless than his own. Vincent simply walked calmly toward me, and the kidnappers were scared silent one by one. He lifted my chin, "I can save you, but I have a condition." I looked coldly at Vincent, facing one was better than facing this group of kidnappers. Before he could finish, I hastily agreed. "As long as you can get me out, I'll agree to anything." Soon after, I dragged my exhausted body to the hospital to see my sister. Just outside the ward, I heard Ethan and Vanessa's voices. I just wanted to take care of Lily for Serena, who knew it would suddenly. "Brother Ethan, I'm so scared, Serena will kill me when she returns." "She wouldn't dare. You had good intentions, who could have thought Lily was so fragile?" An ominous premonition struck me, and I immediately rushed into the ward. The two were very surprised to see me return, but soon Ethan asked with a stern face, "How did you come back?" Vanessa also pretended to care, taking my hand, "Great, Serena, it's good you're back, those people didn't do anything to you, right? I heard they'd done rape and plunder, I was really afraid you'd be." Anxious to check on my sister, I shook off her hand. But the next second, Vanessa fell to the ground. Before I could react, Ethan's slap landed on my face. "Bitch! Vanessa cares about you, and not only do you not appreciate it, but you push her down." "Brother Ethan, don't blame Serena, if not for her, I would have been the one insulted by the kidnappers. It's natural for her to hate me." Vanessa's words carried implications, and Ethan's eyes were full of rage. "I haven't even paid the ransom, how did you come back?" I couldn't tell her about my deal with Vincent, so I simply stayed silent and focused on seeing my sister. At that moment, Vanessa handed me a piece of paper. "Serena, I'm sorry, Lily is still in emergency care, but the situation is not optimistic." I tremblingly snatched the critical condition notice, a chill spreading through my body. "Impossible, this can't be. She was clearly getting better, how did she suddenly become critical?" I grabbed Vanessa's neck. What did you do to my sister? It was you who harmed her, it must be you. The next moment, Ethan grabbed my neck and threw me harshly to the ground. Madwoman. She's still in resuscitation, and you dare lash out at Vanessa. Tell me how you came back unscathed. Otherwise, don't think about seeing your sister. A flash of triumph appeared in Vanessa's eyes, then she clutched her stomach, teary-eyed. Ah, my stomach hurts so much. Will our child? Ignoring that I was thrown to the point of vomiting blood, Ethan hurriedly comforted Vanessa softly. It's okay, I'll take you for a checkup right away. I have the best medical team in the city, I won't let anything happen to you or the child. But Serena, Ethan let out a cold laugh. She made your stomach uncomfortable and had dealings with the kidnappers behind my back. I can't let her off so easily. Don't you keep a room full of reptiles? Let her go there to reflect, okay? Vanessa gave me a provocative smile. All right, I happen to need to nurture the fetus. My pets will trouble sister to take care of them. Sister, they're all very obedient, don't be afraid. I begged Ethan to let me see my sister, but in return, I got his icy threat. Serena, if you want to see your sister, obey obediently, or you'll regret it. He then instructed the nearby bodyguard, hurry and escort the madam to Miss Vanessa's reptile room. One bodyguard hesitated, sir, but madam is most afraid. Vanessa pretended to be understanding, better not, if others hear, they'll think you don't know your wife as well as a servant. Ethan glared at the bodyguard, you seem to know madam better than I do, are you too close? The bodyguard apologized repeatedly in fear, but Vanessa's words thoroughly angered the naturally suspicious Ethan. No matter how I struggled, I was eventually locked in the reptile room. Then, I saw Ethan take out a gun and steadily press it against that bodyguard's forehead. Anyone who oversteps to plead for madam will end up like him. I pounded on the glass window in collapse. Ethan, please, no. But he ignored me completely. Bang after the gunshot, the bodyguard fell in a pool of blood. Ethan gave me a contemptuous glance, embraced Vanessa's waist, and left. I knelt helplessly on the ground, overwhelmed by pain and despair. Clearly, he had once said he would love me well, but in the end, I became the scheming woman who climbed into his bed by any means. Serena, how is it? Fun? At some point, Vanessa returned, standing outside the breeding room's glass window, looking down at me condescendingly. See? With just one word from me, brother Ethan revolves around me. You must miss your sister a lot, don't worry, I'll send you to see her right now. The sealed curtains on all four sides of the reptile room slowly descended, and boxes of all sizes automatically opened. Then, dense spiders crawled out of the boxes. These things that made my scalp tingle were Vanessa's kept reptiles. Ethan knew I was most afraid of spiders, but when Vanessa wanted it, he agreed without hesitation. Spiders kept surging toward me, I desperately stomped and dodged. The sticky spider webs covered my face, and the creepy sensation brought back nightmare-like memories flooding like tides. That was the first time my sister was locked in here, just because she accidentally stepped on Vanessa's spider, and was forcibly locked inside by her, allowing those poisonous creatures to harm my sister. I desperately tore and pulled, wanting to save my sister, but was kicked away without question by the arriving Ethan. That time, the child in my womb turned into a pool of blood, and my sister ended up in the ICU. Later, on the verge of collapse, I hit Vanessa, but Ethan heartlessly ordered my sister to be removed from the ICU. Without the professional medical team, my sister's condition deteriorated rapidly. See? Your sister survived solely thanks to my medical team. If you still want her to live, obey me obediently. My sister's cries for help echoed in my ears. I dared not imagine the fear and pain the 10-year-old endured then. I told myself I must survive. I must see my sister. I desperately stomped the spiders to death until I fainted from the bites. I don't know how much time passed, instrument sounds reached my ears, and when I woke, I was on a hospital bed. Ethan was by my side, his words suddenly somewhat gentler than before. You're awake. Rest assured, Lily is out of danger. Hearing my sister was out of danger, I eagerly wanted to get up to see her, but Ethan stopped me. I said Lily is fine, what you should do is apologize to Vanessa. She's pregnant with my child, you almost hurt them earlier. Apologizing to her isn't too much, right? I smiled bitterly, so it was to apologize to his white moonlight and make her happy. I thought he had discovered his conscience. Fine, I'll apologize. I didn't want any more entanglements with him. Ethan, let's divorce, I'll fulfill you and Vanessa. I want nothing, just give Lily back to me. Ethan's face turned ugly. I just asked you to apologize, why bring up life and death matters? I haven't even settled with you about the kidnappers, and you dare mention divorce? Serena, don't you know your sister Lily will die without me here? Ethan's words were like a knife stabbing into my heart. I instantly lost the courage to leave. My sister was only 10, and I dared not gamble with her life. As long as Lily is fine, I'll go apologize to Vanessa right now. Later, I limped alone toward the bedroom, discovering from afar that the room had been transformed into a reptile room. Ethan, following closely, said indifferently, "You injured many reptiles that night. Vanessa is very heartbroken. After all, she raised them and has some attachment. I'm afraid she'll throw a tantrum and hurt the child in her belly, so I agreed to let her turn your room into a breeding room. I think you won't mind." My heart ached faintly. Ethan didn't know he had personally killed his own child once. "Vanessa is very sensible," she said, "considering your current mobility issues. She arranged another place and will personally take you there when she returns." I smiled bitterly and said nothing. Ethan's expression softened a bit, then he answered Vanessa's call. "Brother Ethan, I'm at the hospital for a checkup. My stomach hurts a little. Can you come accompany me?" "What?" "Don't be afraid, I'll be right there." He hung up immediately after saying that. Ethan wanted to say something more, but I turned my face away without looking at him. Ethan suddenly embraced me, the hickey on his neck particularly conspicuous. "Serena, both you and Vanessa are important to me. No matter what happens, don't leave me, okay?" I responded casually, and Ethan left happily. But soon, Vanessa appeared with several burly men. "TSK tisk TSK, such a tough life, you didn't die from that." "Well, it's good, we can play with you." Vanessa ordered me locked in the basement, where swarms of dark spiders were dumped from above my head. The fuzzy, dense things crawled all over me. I jumped and slapped frantically like a deranged lunatic bouncing up and down. "Serena, let me show you a very interesting video." Vanessa played a video in front of me. It was in the hospital bed, where Vanessa giggled mercilessly, pulling out my sister's oxygen tube, watching her struggle continuously. My sister's mouth kept calling, "Sister, sister." My legs seemed to lose support, and I knelt powerlessly to the ground, pain and despair flooding like tides. My heart felt as if it was brutally gouged out, hurting to the point of not beating. I glared with bloodshot eyes and rushed at Vanessa, wishing to devour her alive. But several burly men held me firmly, and I couldn't move. Vanessa pinched my chin harshly. "Very sad, huh? There'll be something even sadder soon." I knelt on the ground, sinking into deep self-blame, my mind full of my sister's final struggling appearance. Suddenly, cat screams came from the courtyard. I stumbled from the basement to the yard. I saw Vanessa standing on the third floor, throwing month-old kittens down one by one. Those were Machi's newly born kittens, 4 of them, all thrown down by Vanessa, the ground a horrific sight. Machi seemed to know her babies were smashed to death, struggling desperately in Vanessa's hands. Tears uncontrollable, I pushed aside the blocking bodyguard and rushed up the stairs. Just as I reached to snatch Machi, I was grabbed from behind and flung away, rolling down the stairs, hearing bone-cracking sounds. In a daze, I saw Ethan also throw Machi down. Vanessa looked at me meaningfully. "Serena, I was wrong, I won't dare again." Ethan was furious. "Lock this bitch up first." "Serena, you've disappointed me too much." The sky suddenly started drizzling, my eyes were already blurred, unsure if it was tears or rain. Pain filled my body. Upon waking again, I immediately pulled out the needle in my hand and got up to find my sister. But piercing pain came from my legs, and I fell powerlessly to the ground. "Oh, isn't this Serena?" Legs crippled and no one to care, so pitiful? Vanessa appeared at some point, her thin high heels stepping on my hand, blood flowing. Enduring severe pain, I struggled with all my strength to stand, but still couldn't. Previous events flashed in my mind, anger and resentment turned into strength at this moment, and I bit hard into Vanessa's thigh. No matter how she struggled, I didn't let go. Until Ethan arrived at the sound, violently smashing a stool on my head. Blood flowed down, and I fainted. Upon waking, I dragged my crippled legs outward. Vanessa rushed in angrily, grabbing my hair. "Bitch, you bit me and still want to run? Today, I'll make you wish you were dead. Don't you want to see that dead girl Lily? I'll show her to you." Vanessa took out a white porcelain jar and handed it to me. "This is her ashes. Truth be told, she died long ago. Right after I pulled her oxygen tube that day, she suffocated to death. In an instant, my head buzzed, my blood seemed to freeze, and my whole world became icy cold. Impossible. Impossible. Ethan promised to treat Lily." "You're lying." Ethan said Lily was recovering well. I tried to grab it, but Vanessa quickly withdrew the ashes box. "Hee, do you think you're more important to Ethan than I am? I just told him I accidentally pulled your sister's oxygen tank, and he believed it, keeping it from you all along. I just said your sister kept appearing in my dreams, and he feared her energy would harm me and the child, so he burned her body in one fire." My sister's painful cries for help echoed in my ears again. I believed Ethan was capable of such things. "Please, please, give my sister back to me," I begged continuously, kowtowing until my head bled. But Vanessa mercilessly poured all my sister's ashes into the toilet. Whoosh, with a casual flush, the ashes were washed clean by the sewage. At that moment, my heart twisted like a knife, blood spurting from my mouth. I opened my mouth but could no longer speak. When I woke again, I was locked in the attic. Surrounded by raging fire, the wooden attic seemed prepared especially for this blaze. In an instant, the fire devoured everything. I dragged my crippled legs, desperately struggling, crawling, calling for help, but my hands were chained tightly. I struggled in despair until engulfed in the sea of fire. The fire in the Liu residence attic burned for hours. When Ethan returned, only dark ruins remained, with occasional thick smoke. Ethan stood dazed for a moment, then suddenly remembered something and asked the nearby bodyguard, "Where's Madam? Has she been better lately?" The bodyguard trembled, not daring to speak. Everyone lowered their heads. Ethan flew into a rage, pulling out a gun aimed at the bodyguard, asking again, "Where's Madam?" At that moment, his phone received a text, a video from an anonymous number. He tremblingly opened the video. Vanessa's face was close. She faced the camera, smugly pulling out Lily's oxygen tube herself. Then she let out a piercing laugh. "Serena, those kidnappers must have served you well. I paid for it, don't waste it, haha. Ethan really thought I was the one who saved him back then, but you were the one who saved him. Doesn't matter, he doesn't want you anyway." Vanessa's words were like sharp knives, brutally gouging Ethan's heart, leaving it bloody. At the same time, he received an email, Madam Serena's pregnancy report, dated a year ago, exactly the day he kicked her for Vanessa. He suddenly looked up at the still smoking ruins. In the thick smoke, he saw Serena's eyes filled with blood and tears. In them, besides despair and hatred, was an unfathomable accusation he never understood. And now, everything was reduced to ashes. The video in his hand played repeatedly. Ethan's world seemed to collapse at that moment. He rushed madly to the ruins still with embers, digging barehanded despite burns. He had to find that familiar figure, even if just a bone fragment. Everyone trying to dissuade him was useless, scared off by him. Scenes flashed before Ethan's eyes. He had personally locked her in a dog cage, in a pigsty, sent her to kidnappers, locked her in the reptile room. He misunderstood and beat her repeatedly, failed to protect her sister, hurt everything she cared about. Until exhausted and finding nothing, Ethan, like a deflated doll, collapsed instantly before the charred ruins, vomiting blood non-stop. He painfully realized he had destroyed everything himself. The bodyguard stepped forward to stop him. Sir, madam's legs were impaired and she was locked up, she couldn't. Shut up. Alive, see the person, dead, see the corpse. If not found, you'll all accompany her in death. Ethan grabbed the bodyguard's collar, questioning, where were you when the fire started? Why didn't anyone save her, you bunch of wastes? The bodyguard shook in fear. Sir, it was Miss Vanessa's order, no matter what happened, we couldn't help madam, or end up like Alan. Ethan's hand gradually loosened. Alan was a bodyguard who followed him for years, last time pleading for Serena, executed publicly by him. They were ordinary servants, with a precedent, who dared joke with their life. It was Vanessa's doing again. Within half an hour, I want to see that bitch Vanessa. Ethan immediately checked the surveillance. Indeed, Vanessa secretly set the attic on fire. Unfortunately, the lines were burned later, and he didn't see the aftermath. Ethan choked up. He dared not imagine the inhuman torment Serena suffered. Vanessa was soon locked in her own reptile room. Bitch, daring to impersonate Serena as my lifesaver, causing her so much suffering, your death is insufficient. I'll make you taste all the torments she endured. Vanessa's horrific sounds came, wails, screams, pain, pleas. Ethan remembered that night. To punish Serena, he cruelly threatened her with her already dead sister to enter the reptile room. She didn't know then that her dependent sister had long died. Serena feared spiders most, yet he heartlessly locked her in. Unimaginable how desperate Serena was, tormented physically and mentally continuously. Ethan released Vanessa. She was scared to incontinence, on the edge of death from poisoning. Don't let her die, this is just the beginning. Days later, when Vanessa recovered, Ethan ordered her locked in the basement where she once abused Serena. Ethan grabbed over a dozen beggars and locked them in the basement together. He wanted Vanessa to taste being surrounded by over a dozen men. Once, focused only on Vanessa, to teach Serena a lesson, he sent her to the bandits' den and deliberately delayed the ransom payment. Until Serena returned on her own, he not only didn't care for her but concealed her sister's death, constantly despising, blaming her, even laying hands on her. Ethan looked at the data brought by the bodyguard. Regret and guilt filled his heart. The data showed his wife Serena had the same panda blood type as him. She had transfused blood to him multiple times, saving him from death's edge. Married for years, he didn't even know her blood type. Ethan stormed toward Vanessa in rage. At the same time, I was undergoing rehabilitation training on Vincent's private island. Unexpectedly, you're recovering faster than expected. Vincent removed his sunglasses, came over, and slowly helped me sit. Panting, I said to him, "Thank you." Though I didn't say much, my inner gratitude toward him was inexpressible. He saved me twice. The first time, when Ethan sent me to the kidnappers in exchange for Vanessa, Vincent saved me. Although I refused his proposed condition, he still let me go. That's when I thought he wasn't as ruthless as Ethan said in the rumors. Later, when the Lou residence attic caught fire, I was trapped inside, no one came to save me, and I thought I would really die there. In my despair, a familiar figure broke through the window and rescued me from the blaze. This person was the richest man in Jingzhou before me, Vincent. He sent me to his private island for secret treatment. His top medical team spared no effort to save me. After countless painful surgeries and rehabilitations, today I can stand again. Since I survived, I should make good use of this opportunity. I must make the perpetrators who bullied our two sisters pay the due price. Vincent saw me lost in thought, thinking I hadn't emerged from sorrow. Actually, I can avenge you. No, I must avenge this personally. Mr. Vincent, don't worry about me, I can handle it. Vincent gently removed my veil. Remember, I'm always here. Is my face very ugly? I touched a scar on my face not fully healed and asked him. Vincent smiled warmly. Not ugly, and it will disappear. Once it disappears, the hatred will too. Thus, I underwent more precise surgeries and rehabilitation training. And accepted the physical, combat, financial, psychological, and other trainings arranged by Vincent. Slap. Ethan madly swept the files off the marble table, scattering them. You bunch of wastes. I said alive see the person, dead see the corpse, where is she? Where is my wife? The bodyguard timidly continued reporting, the police have no news of Madam either, after so long, probably. Before the bodyguard finished, Ethan stepped forward and choked his neck harshly, you'd better take back your words, or end up like that bitch Vanessa. The bodyguard begged for mercy repeatedly, everyone scrambled out of Ethan's office. Since the fire made Madam disappear, Sir became more tyrannical than before. Though they felt he deserved it, they had to obey him. Day and night training and rehabilitation made me strong. In the mirror, my appearance was restored, but I exuded a cold, sharp elegance. Vincent stood beside me, ready? I put on an exquisite mask, eyes like ice, let's begin. I appeared as Vincent's wife at Jingzhou's top charity banquet. Vincent was always single before, bringing me this time caused a stir. People below whispered, rumors say the richest Vincent avoids women, unexpectedly, he brought a woman this time. And her identity is Vincent's wife, seems she has a big background. Yes, look at Vincent's wife, not only outstanding in appearance, her aura is so strong that surrounding women can't compare. Truly a perfect match with Mr. Vincent. That Ethan, though, doesn't seem as glorious as before. Heard that when Ethan's wife was around, he tormented her relentlessly for an outsider, later said she disappeared, and now Ethan is saddened. Ethan's wife was pitiful, I had the fortune to see her a few times, stunning beauty and kind person, what a shame. I gripped the champagne in my hand, looking at Ethan in the distance. Ethan's eyes were dim, his whole person haggard. As I brushed past Ethan, a faint medicinal scent mixed with my favorite perfume wafted to his nose. Ethan turned sharply, staring fixedly at my back. I could feel his burning gaze, but I didn't stop or alter my steps. Across the crowd, I turned back and looked at him coldly. Facing this murderer, my eyes were full of hatred and mockery. As Ethan approached me, I linked arms with Vincent and turned to leave. After the banquet, someone sent precious gifts to curry favor with Vincent. But Vincent refused them all. My wife likes keeping reptiles, others are unimportant. Especially spiders. I looked at Ethan with a half-smile, he shuddered, as if his heart was pierced. Soon, I anonymously sent a big gift to the Lou residence, designated for Miss Vanessa. Ethan brought that gift to the imprisoned Vanessa. Upon opening, the transparent breeding box was full of giant spiders. These were what Vanessa once loved most. Ethan's eyes bloodshot, you all like this stuff? Seems very fun. Then he dumped all the spiders on Vanessa. He wanted her to taste the bitter fruits she brewed repeatedly. Screams came from the prison room. I established a new company and soon intercepted several important projects from Lou Group. The entire business circle was in uproar. I tampered with the Lou residence network, looping videos of Vanessa pulling my sister's oxygen tube, abusing cats to death, and torturing me on the Lou residence TVs. The entire Lou residence fell into panic, all said it was the ghost of the deceased madam returning for revenge. Ethan, worthy of being a big shot, didn't believe in ghosts at all. From various signs, he knew someone was behind it. But I deliberately wanted him to suffer mental torment. Ethan visited multiple times, I avoided seeing him. Soon he started investigating me. When attending a banquet with Vincent again, Ethan suddenly appeared and grabbed my hand. Serena, I know it's you. You're angry at me, so you became Vincent's wife, right? He looked at me with joy, trying to remove my mask. I dodged agilely, using combat skills to throw him to the ground. Please respect yourself, Ethan. Ethan looked at me incredulously, at that moment, he doubted again. His Serena was a gentle little rabbit, while I was agile and strong. The voice was different too, the me before him had a hoarse, cold voice. Ethan wanted to say more, but Vincent appeared. Ethan, my wife doesn't like men like you who are fickle and unfaithful in relationships. Vincent arrived timely, we left together. Leaving Ethan alone in sorrow. Ethan always felt Vincent's wife's figure and scent were so familiar. Especially the eyes under the mask, the emotions in them, he had seen in Serena's eyes. Soon, Ethan found Serena's information. The moment he got the file, Ethan collapsed to the ground, face pale. What? The rival who snatched Lou Group's projects, the person in charge is named Serena. I stood before the floor-to-ceiling window in a daze, thoughts returning to the past. Back then, father failed in business, leaving heavy debts, and jumped from a building. Mother couldn't bear it and followed father. I had to drop out, leading a fugitive life with my sister. On the way home from work, I encountered Ethan stabbed. I sent him to the hospital. Ethan's blood type was special, and coincidentally, mine matched. The Lou family arrived, gave me a lot of money, asking me to transfuse blood to Ethan. After multiple transfusions and rescues, Ethan survived. Then I thought, transfusing blood for so much money was good. At least our sisters could stabilize temporarily. But later, Margaret brought media to my workplace, forcing me to admit it was all planned. The purpose was to exploit Ethan's special blood type to extort money. While avoiding the media, I entered the wrong room. But when the lights turned on, the situation became uncontrollable. I was in the same room as the Lou Group's heir, and coincidentally, Margaret and media were there too. To maintain their positive image, Ethan married me. Margaret threatened me not to reveal saving Ethan, always emphasizing Vanessa was the one who saved him. For a safe place for my sister and me, I kept this secret. My appearance ruined the path Margaret paved for her niece Vanessa. Even if Ethan thought my unscrupulous methods to rise disgusted and made him hate me. Even if he deliberately tormented me with Vanessa. Until Margaret's death, no one proved for me. But I didn't expect my choice of endurance would lead to today's outcome. Madam, the negotiation materials with Lou Group for tomorrow are ready. The assistant came in. Should we tell Vincent about this? I shook my head. No need, I don't want him to worry. Sir has already helped me a lot. Vincent entered at some point, lazily sitting on the sofa. He gestured for me to sit too. I believe in your ability, but you shouldn't hide from me. Suddenly, he sincerely held my hand. I'm not at ease. Ethan is now a dangerous madman. I knew Vincent had some different feelings for me, but I withdrew my hand. You forgot, I'm a vengeful demon returned from hell. I fear nothing. Vincent was a steady, gentle man. He was truly excellent. But I dared not speak of emotions again. Moreover, before him, I felt inferior. He seemed to see my thoughts, hesitating to comfort. Serena. I interrupted him. Mr. Vincent, you've helped me a lot, let me do this last step myself. Vincent smiled relievedly, then promised me to protect yourself well. I personally led people to Lou Group for negotiations. Lou Group was indeed powerful, the board members were no pushovers. Because I intercepted their projects multiple times before, now they eyed me predatorily. We sat around the table. Amid everyone's anticipation, I removed the mask. Everyone was surprised. Isn't this Madame Serena? Ethan, upon seeing my true face, rushed to me and embraced me. Serena, I knew it was you. I scoffed, easily breaking free from his embrace. Ethan, please respect yourself, I am Vincent's wife. Ethan widened his eyes incredulously. What did you say, you're Vincent's wife? Yes, I am Vincent's wife, my husband is Jingzhou's richest, Vincent. Ethan still in disbelief, I continued sarcastically, doesn't Ethan already have Miss Vanessa? How do you still remember having a wife? Wasn't it Ethan who personally locked me in the attic, allowing Miss Vanessa to set fire and put me to death? Ethan's eyes reddened, unable to speak for a long time. I signaled my subordinate to operate the computer. Soon, all screens in Lou Group showed shocking scenes. Videos played Vanessa's past evil deeds, including Ethan's indifferent state beside. All sighed, they knew I wasn't favored by Ethan, but didn't expect such painful torments. As the videos played repeatedly, I couldn't help clenching my fists. Ethan knelt before me, repenting. Serena, I was wrong, I didn't know Vanessa would treat you that way, I just wanted to punish you a little. I slapped Ethan's face hard. I begged you repeatedly, but you ignored. Torment me however, but you condoned Vanessa killing my sister. She was only 10. You promised to take good care of Lily, but what did you do? Vanessa pulled her oxygen tube, she suffocated alive, it's all you. You condoned Vanessa, you're the murderer. I lost control emotionally, recounting Ethan and Vanessa's deeds repeatedly. Serena, I'll make her pay with her life. At that moment, Vincent appeared, picking me up. Today Lou Group bullied my wife like this, seems no need for cooperation. Wait to be acquired by me. Everyone was at a loss, hoping for Ethan's new move. But Ethan remained silent for long. He didn't know what to say or do. Vincent warned Ethan again, if Ethan truly feels guilty, he should accept punishment himself, not persistently beg my wife. Vincent took me away from Lou Group. Ethan wanted to chase, but was held by board members. Ethan, what you should do now is how to preserve Lou Group, not chase a woman. Vincent carried me into the car, injecting me with a sedative. After a long time, I came to. Sorry, I messed things up. I thought I could face him. Vincent gently hugged me, you did very well, if others experienced this, they might not have survived. You have strong willpower. I just feel heartbroken for you, I know each time you face him, you relive the pain. Vincent's words seemed to give Ethan a new idea. He also felt he should atone. He should punish himself, experience the pain and despair Serena went through once. Thus, he ordered preparations for all scenes. Sir, are you sure to do this? Less nonsense. Ethan firmly entered the cage full of dogs and heat. He was also afraid of these things, constantly dodging, running, resisting, his body torn in places by the hounds. In crisis, he shot and killed the hounds. He also snatched food with pigs, ordered himself pushed downstairs, then crawled to the basement, and had spiders dumped all over him. After screams of pain, Ethan finally apologized to Serena. Serena, sorry. Serena, I didn't cherish you well. The screams weakened, but Ethan, nearly demonic, gritted teeth persisting. Ethan ordered recordings of all he experienced sent to Serena. He wanted to tell Serena he was truly wrong, he also experienced pain. Ethan thought this could offset his sins, salvage Serena's heart. Ethan's behavior reached the board, all felt Lou Group was doomed. They flocked to Lou residence, some advised Ethan to turn back, some blamed him for irresponsibility, some clamored to split. Ethan, as Lou Group's head, you debase yourself for a woman. Lou Group is the empire we built together, you abandon it so easily? Do you know Song family's acquisition plan reached the board? In that case, I'll take back my share, I won't stay in Lou Group. Surrounding noises rose and fell, Ethan spurted blood and fainted. I looked at the photos, without sympathy, instead finding it ridiculous and shameless. Vincent's merger with Lou Group was proceeding. I also prepared to submit Ethan and Vanessa's crime evidence to police. At that time, Ethan brought Vanessa to find me. Vanessa knelt before me crying bitterly, kowtowing until her forehead bled. Serena, I was wrong, please spare me and brother Ethan. We got along pleasantly before, please. Seeing Vanessa again, hatred ignited in me. I stepped forward and slapped her hard several times until my palm numbed. You demon, dare to beg me? As I lost emotional control, Vincent appeared again. Ethan, letting a woman beg, are you even a man? Neither of you will escape what you did. We're all business people, always by ability. I advise you go back now and think how to counter my next retaliation. Ethan, like a deflated ball, left dejectedly after leaving Vanessa. Emotionally, I should kill you myself, but I'm not like you evils. I hope you spend life in prison, dying lonely. After saying this, I handed Vanessa and evidence to the police. Soon, news of Vanessa sent to a mental hospital reached my ears. Vincent said, that's where she belongs. I ran into Ethan again the next day at the acquisition meeting. He stared at me intently, hoping I would change. But I remained indifferent and businesslike. Lou Group's other shareholders eyed Ethan predatorily, wishing to devour him. But Ethan couldn't change anything, the former Jingzhou business genius was now an empty shell. Right after Lou Group underwent bankruptcy liquidation, police handcuffs were on Ethan's wrists. During that, I went to see him. Serena, I knew you wouldn't abandon me. The former business genius became a prisoner, image plummeted. My expression remained cold. You're overthinking. How possible? I know you're the kindest, otherwise wouldn't hire top defense lawyer for me. Ethan laughed. He hadn't expected me to hire a top lawyer for him, nor had he expected me to see him. Ethan, don't be delusional. Everything you did was a capital crime. I hired someone to defend you, so I can sentence you to life in prison. I'll make you live in pain and guilt forever. Ethan looked at me incredulously. Impossible, impossible. My Serena wouldn't be so heartless and ruthless. I scoffed. Whatever, who it is doesn't matter. Importantly, I avenged. I turned gracefully and left, leaving Ethan roaring and regretting in prison. Ethan's sentence, as I expected, life imprisonment. On the luxury yacht under the sunset. Serena stood tall by the rail, sea breeze lifting her long hair. She gazed calmly afar, eyes with indescribable story feel. Vincent came with champagne, quietly standing behind her. He didn't disturb her peace. After unknown time, Vincent turned. Mrs. Vincent, pleasant cooperation, all misfortunes ended. Serena's voice calm, yes, ended. You are free. Vincent referred to the initial condition. He helped Serena avenge, Serena would follow him thereafter. But he knew feelings gained by taking advantage were meaningless. So, he gave her freedom. Serena took the champagne, looked at Vincent. She knew Vincent's feelings for her. Thank you, Mr. Vincent. She didn't say stay, nor refuse. Under the setting sun's glow, the two smiled at each other, raising glasses to celebrate.